ago, I made a speech at a rally in London where I said the new Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, would betray Brexit. And I said the only real Brexit is what's called a no-deal Brexit, and that no deal is the only deal. And of course, many people were trusting in Boris to deliver Brexit. Boris has betrayed Brexit. Theresa May was the appeaser of the European Union. Boris is the betrayer. We had Theresa the appeaser, now we've got Boris the betrayer. Boris has betrayed the people of Northern Ireland, or the Unionist people of Northern Ireland. He has destabilised Northern Ireland. In one fell swoop, in one stroke of the pen, he has destabilised Northern Ireland and alienated the most patriotic part of this country. And this was after him saying he would never do that. He's done what he said he would never do. He said he'd never put a border down the Irish Sea. He's done it. So he's betrayed Northern Ireland. But not only has he betrayed Northern Ireland, he's also very, very cleverly and very malevolently split the Leave vote. One side you have Nigel Farage, the Brexit party, saying that this is not Brexit. On the other side you have the ERG, you have Jacob Rees-Mogg, people that we thought we could trust. But of course, there's an old saying, and much as I don't like to quote the SNP, the leader of the SNP in the House of Commons said it yesterday, never trust a Tory. And the people that put their faith in Boris should realise that you cannot trust the Tory party. They are the establishment. They are the liberal elite. Don't be fooled. There's nothing conservative about the Conservative Party. And they have basically sold out the United Kingdom. They've done it over the past 2 years. The referendum to them was a game that they thought they would win. They lost. David Cameron lost the game. And since then, the entire establishment has been scrabbling about trying to find a way to stop Brexit happening in any meaningful way. Because, of course, the people who voted to leave the European Union voted to leave the European Union. We didn't vote for a withdrawal agreement. We didn't vote for years of prolonged negotiation. We voted to leave the EU. And we should have left. The days and weeks after the referendum, we should have left immediately and then negotiated a trade deal. But of course that hasn't happened. And the sight, it's bad enough having a treacherous Tory party, but what are even worse are the people who are openly against democracy. The Remain fanatics like the Liberal Democrats, the Remain fanatics in the Labour Party, the Remain fanatics in the SNP, the Remain fanatics in Sinn Féin. It's amazing about these nationalist parties, you know, Sinn Féin and the SNP, parties that say they want independence. They don't want independence. What they want to do is put their people under the slavery and domination of a European superstate. They are not nationalists. They are not patriots. What those people are in Sinn Féin and in the SNP, they are Euro-federalist fanatics. And it's amazing, especially with Sinn Féin, their road to Damascus conversion to Euro-fanaticism only happened about 5 or 6 years ago. Maybe it's longer, maybe it's 2011, but it's very, very recent. For years, Sinn Féin opposed the European Union. And then when they realised that it was a way to weaken the union of the United Kingdom, they fully signed up and fully bought into it. That's the hypocrisy of these nationalist parties, whether they be Sinn Féin or the SNP. I believe that the SNP are driven purely by anti-English bigotry and not by love of their own country and love of their own people. The vast majority of British people, right the way throughout these islands, throughout the UK, want the union to stay together. It's a minority sport. There's a minority on a national level that want to break up the union in Sinn Féin, the SNP, and obviously some of the lunatics and the Labour loony left. But the Conservative Party, the Conservative Unionist Party, are probably the party that is going to destroy the union. Isn't that ironic? The party that claims to be a supporter of the union, that claims to love the union. And you've got to ask why. You've got to ask what's going on in government. And one of the most, I believe, sinister figures in the British establishment is, in my opinion, is a man called Mark Sidwell. It's rumoured that Mark Sidwell is an MI6, a senior MI6 agent. That's the rumour. He's head of the Special Forces Club. He's never served in the military. So how can you get to be head of the Special Forces Club unless you have served in MI6, MI5, or some other covert intelligence organisation? And he is a Remainer. He does not want the United Kingdom. As far as I know, he is fully committed to the European project. He's an internationalist. He's a globalist. He spent a lot of time in Saudi Arabia, Afghanistan. So we can surmise where his loyalties and allegiances lie. They lie with the globalist project. And he is the main man. He's the head of national security and he's the head of the civil service. He's driving a lot of what's going on at the minute. And of course, the politicians literally toe the line when it comes to the civil service. The tail does wag the dog. So do I think we're going to get Brexit? No, I don't think we're going to get Brexit. And it's ironic. All these people bust in. Do you know those buses that came? There wasn't that many people actually at that demonstration yesterday. When I look at the demonstration, how many people were at our demonstration on the 29th of March, we would have outnumbered them. So that's a good thing. That means the numbers of those Remainiac demonstrations are falling. But we had it again, the Remainers zombie apocalypse. These people who are bussed in from all over the country, English people, Scottish people, Welsh people, probably people from Northern Ireland, paid to go to these demonstrations, wrapping themselves in the flag of a foreign and what I consider a hostile power. It's an absolute disgrace. And there was a friend texted me yesterday and said there was 50 of them, 50 Brexiteers, literally against tens of thousands of these Remainiac zombies. And they look to me, and when you hear them talk, they're like lobotomized geography teachers with their sandals and their sticks of celery sitting out of the back of their pockets. They probably just all stayed from the Extinction Rebellion demo and just changed flags. But it's shocking to see people take to the streets of the capital city of our country, waving a foreign flag and asking for that foreign power to take over and rule and govern our country, and celebrating the fact that our democracy and our democratic will has been ignored and has been defeated. Boris has betrayed Brexit. Will we get Brexit? I don't think so. So what do we do? Well, I think this is where we need to get into a long battle. And we need to start by educating ourselves, educating our families, educating our friends, and educating our children on why the United Kingdom is a great nation, on why Great Britain is indeed great. We need to talk about our history. We need to talk about how we are the founders of democracy. Not the Greeks. Modern democracy is a British American construct. Modern democracy is built on the Judeo-Christian heritage of this country. We need to teach our children that. We need to teach our children why it's important that Northern Ireland stays in the Union. We need to teach our children why it's important that the United Kingdom stays together. We need to teach our children that Britain and the British people have so much to be proud of. Defeating totalitarianism in 2 world wars. Defeating fascism and Nazism. Defeating communism in the Cold War. But the battle still goes on. And we need to defeat globalism. And we need to have independent nation states that govern themselves democratically. Yes, that work together and trading blocks and trade together and buy and sell together. There's nothing wrong with that. But we need to be an independent state. And we need to be free from the shackles of the EU. We also need to educate people about how dangerous the EU is. How dangerous the totalitarianism of the EU is. And that's what I intend to start looking at with some friends and colleagues, how we can teach people about what's great about Britain, about what's wrong with globalism, with communism, with Islamism, and with all these ideologies that are trying to destroy our heritage, our culture, and our history. Because at the end of the day, those people wrapping themselves in EU flags, if they knew anything about British history and they knew anything about European history, they would not be wrapping themselves in the flags of a foreign power. See you all soon.